to iBoxingHub. If you're new to the channel, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. I go by the name of Biyenge, featuring Rah. What's good?
Chris, people are saying this is weird. Like me and you we don't go together. You get me?
I
Like
know.
Rico's smart ass comment was, it's like the Eminem and Elton John link up. That it's off key, but it produces a masterpiece. So big up to Rico, the smart ass. But hey, listen, yeah, big up to our brother Trey, bit unwell, so we wish him a speedy recovery. So yeah, happy to fill in. And at the moment I've been on a roll just digging into all the stars about their ducking. So as per the title of today's show, it leads to some good things sometimes. But anyway,
just before we go into the subject ducking, I want to big up D-Rock in association. Guys, remember to go on the website, type in iBoxingHub 24. Remember, you get 40%. Look, man like Johnny Nelson, rocking the gear. Man like Joseph Parker, rocking the gear. Man like Jans, rocking the gear. What are you waiting for? Come on. Go on, Rah. What was you saying?
Yeah. So, as per the title of tonight's show, a few bits of news sort of trickling in from the boxing world. The Duck March seems to have inadvertently led to some potentially good fights. Yeah. So, we've seen Benavidez saying he's staying at 175. But hey, listen, I don't know what to make of it because it's a duck not activating your mandatory. But if it's a duck that leads you straight into the waiting arms of Artur Beterbiev or Dmitry Bivol, is it really a duck? I'm conflicted. How do you feel about it?
I'm deeply hurt. I'm deeply hurt. I don't think he's ducking. He needs to make money. So he's making a smart move because think about it. He's been calling out Canelo for time, right? Canelo is the one who doesn't want the smoke. Yeah. Benavidez wants to fight Canelo, right? He's been waiting for too long. Benavidez has moved up now. So he has an opportunity to become a light heavyweight champion. So he's saying that he's waiting to fight the winner of, Biv or Bertabiv. But we shall see. We shall see. I mean, I personally think he shouldn't move up. I think he should wait for Canelo. Me, personally. But at the same time, I think Canelo's happy. He's celebrating. He's so happy. because he doesn't have to fight Benavidez no more. Well, for now, anyway, for now.
Big up to all of Jams as ever. He's wishing Trey well, as he always does. He's with me that this is actually you're only half with me, Jams. I think that they have both ducked at different times. We were on your spaces last night, and that was a great night, Jams. Thanks for having me on. I think they both ducked at different times. Aisha, big up to her. Neutral, welcome as ever. Lucy, always welcome from over there in Detroit, Michigan. If you duck Canelo to fight someone who beat Canelo, that ain't a duck. I see your point, but you know what? It can be because sometimes maybe styles make fights and you just fancy a different style more. However, Lucy, in this case, like I said, Benavidez ducking Canelo hasn't led him to like an easier fight. It's leading him to bloody harder fights. Bivol or worse, Beterbiev. I really don't get this turning down the fight with Canelo. And I'm just looking on our Twitter feed. Sorry, I'm not that guy who's always on his phone, but just to keep abreast of the news, George Galinsky exclusive report. Ben Shalom reveals Canelo's team couldn't get to a number that Eubank Jr. felt was acceptable for the fight. Now, I've said enough about Eubank Jr. as well, but I just don't get it. Like, where are you going to get something better? Even if Canelo is giving you a flat fee, whatever, 5 million, 6 million, whatever it is, where are you going to get something better than that? Can any of you guys who are into all this finances and purses in the chat, if you got any theories, please hit us with it. But yeah,
I don't know what to say. I mean, fighting Canelo, you need to get paid. Put it this way, fighting Canelo could be your last fight. I mean, look at Billy Joe Saunders. When he fought Canelo, I believe, I could be wrong, he got paid his biggest purse. He got paid, what was it, 10 million? Ever since, he hasn't fought a fight. This was what, 2, 3 years ago? So surely, don't get me wrong, I don't think he's outbidding himself, but I just think it's ridiculous. I just think it's come to a point now where I'm annoyed with Canelo. I'm sorry, but I'm just annoyed with Canelo.
See, I'm trying to get my head around it. So, as our American colleagues on Jams's space last night were saying, that they're saying the same thing, that Benavidez wants more money. But okay, if he activated his mandatory as a WBC mandatory, you get 25% of the purse. Now, does that include 25% of the pay-per-view revenue? Again, I don't know. Like I said, I'm the only Asian guy alive with no business sense. Totally disinterested in business, know nothing about business. If I invest in anything, it's going to lose money. So yeah, I'm clueless. So I'm just trying to think, how does that work? You get 25% as a mandate, and you turn it down for what? Because Bill and Beterbiev, they can't sell a ticket between them unless Turkey wants to give out more charity and pay him a whole load of money to fight the winner. I don't know. Again, viewers, please let us know.
There's two things. I think sometimes it could be that maybe Benavidez, isn't quite ready yet to fight Canelo. Well, when I say that, I don't mean as in he's ducking, no, as in like, he's now moved up in weight, innit? So he's probably thinking, I need to fight Canelo at the right time. And at the same time as well, I think it comes down to their management team, because the way I see it, if you're offered 25%, just take it, because if he was to beat the champion, think about the rewards in the future. But unfortunately, we're living in a time now, everybody's being greedy. Like, everybody wants to get paid serious money. I mean, when Dillian White fought Tyson Fury, didn't he get, was it 10% or was it 20%?
20, weren't it?
And that also was one of his biggest pay. He got paid, I believe, was it 8 million?
Yeah.
And if he had beaten Tyson, would have got extra 4 million on bonus or something like that. So I think the problem here with boxers is it comes down to the management team. I know they've got a management team for a reason, but sometimes I think the decisions that they make, it's just all wrong. It's all wrong, because now it's just like, will we ever get to see Canelo fight Benavidez the same way? Like, look, we missed an opportunity with Wilder and AJ.
Wait. You ain't comparing Benavidez to Wilder, right? Listen, we'll part that. I just want to have a look at some of what our colleagues are saying. Neutral says Benavidez turned down 30% Mando for a 30% Mando for winner of B&B. The risk is undisputed over money. Again, so he had the choice of 30% of a Canelo purse and also the chance to be undisputed against a much smaller man. And that would have been a way, way bigger purse, unless, as I said, His Excellency is offering up welfare to him. He turned that down for the chance to get undisputed at light heavyweight, even though his chances of dethroning Bivol or Beterbiev are considerably less. And if it is Beterbiev he comes up against, might end up getting hurt bad for much, much less money. Like I said, unless His Excellency is again going to provide welfare to him. It's puzzling.
That could be it. Maybe they want to participate in the Saudi undercard, hence why they're holding on. They don't want to. He doesn't want to fight Canelo just yet, because he believes maybe he might get a bigger opportunity to fight Canelo with more money. That could be it, because everybody wants to get involved. Everybody wants to get involved.
Very interesting.
Interesting.
Do you Benavidez fight someone else before then? Asks Lucy. Well, Bivol and Beterbiev supposedly are going to fight October the 12th. A couple of days after my birthday, by the way. If any of you want to treat me for all the pleasure of giving you, of course. Yeah. Okay. Listen, if it's October, the undisputed champion is going to be crowned. If it's Beterbiev, you can expect him to need 6 months off because he's 40 years old and his joints are he's got aches and pains. If it's Bivol, you might get a quick turnaround, which means Benavidez, really ought to fight
Bivol.
What, by the autumn? Yeah, even if it's Tudor. So he really ought to. I don't know who on earth prepares you for either of them two men, though, because it's like those guys, them two are at one level, and the rest of the light heavyweight division is several levels below. So, but some activity will be better than none. Lucy's
talking about ducking.
Yeah, carry on, Chris. You know, I love going in ducks.
What's your thoughts on Luma not taking the challenge? You know, he doesn't want to fight at the moment. The question is he ducking Tank?
Yes. I've no hesitation in saying that. Again, it's a similar situation to the Canelo and Benavidez back and forth in that it's a two-way duck. Not two-way, but duck at different times by either party. So obviously when Luma, as you call him, was in his prime 3 or 4 years ago, Tank and his team kept saying, "No, we ain't going to be rushed into it, blah, blah, blah. We'll fight him when it suits us." Well, it suits him now, and Luma has decided to return the favour. But it's still a duck. If you want to say it's, I guess if you're a Luma fan, you can say it's a justified, a duck in return, a revenge duck. I don't know. How do you tick for tack?
So how does it work then? So is he still the champion, or would he have to?
This was going to be a unification, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Klimas put a statement out, said he wants to emphasize Luma is not retired. He's just decided not to fight yet. So what is his reasoning? We can only guess. It's not going to be about money. It can't be, because Tank's the big money fight in all of those weight classes, and certainly nobody has come out and said anything about being low balled. Even Luma's not said that. He's just saying he doesn't want to fight now. So he's decided he doesn't want that smoke at the age of 36. It's a duck. I guess depending on what side of that street you're on, you'll have your views whether it's justified or not. But as Mr. Neutral's pointing out, coming to the title of the show, how the Duck March leads to some unexpectedly and where it's brought us to is possibility of Tank v Shaq. Yeah,
interesting that one.
Kenny Ellis, one of his coaches, is being very vocal about saying we could make that now. So as far as we know, Shakur hasn't yet signed with any particular promoter. They're talking about it. I don't know. Has Tank's team ever been so positive about talking about a Shakur fight before? I can't recall it. So maybe there's.
I think the only way I can see that fight happening straight away is if Shakur signs with PBC, like a 2-fight deal with Tank. If he signs with Matchroom, it might be a bit hard because they might cock block. I don't know, because they ain't really got a good relationship with Eddie Hearn. So it's a tricky one.
That's exactly it. I think that there might be a small window now to get it made. And you know, we're under no illusions. PBC know that Shakur's in a weak position now, so they might have a Damocles sword over his head right now. Like, okay, this is the biggest fight in the sport in your weight class. This is your chance, but these are the conditions that you're going to have to sign up to. What those conditions might be, who knows? But that's my big concern. If PBC, you know, try and hold that over him, and he might just think, oh God, I've just got out of a long-term contract with one promoter who didn't really back me. Do I want to really be signed up with another promoter that probably ain't going to back me either? Because even if he does sign with them, they will still be favoring Tank. Tank's their main guy, which means on things like the fight negotiations and even the influence with the scorecards, because realistically, Shakur's going to win only by going to the scorecards. Things, I don't know. It's interesting. You got Jabit, and very welcome. Yeah, it's tantalizing, isn't it? Am I being an idiot, like getting all excited, knowing that it's we're just getting that carrot.
I can see it happening. I think if Shakur signs with Matchroom, he's gonna get looked after. And because Eddie Hearn's got a good relationship with his excellency, Turkey Al Sheikh, but there's a possibility that fight could happen, maybe not now, but maybe next year. Do you know what I mean? With more serious money.
Yeah, possibly. But
in the meantime, he needs to have
Sorry, go on.
No, he needs to have perhaps another warm-up fight, I reckon, Shakur, because obviously, you know, with his performance at the moment, people are not really happy. But I believe if Eddie invests in Shakur, he needs to prove a point. Say that, look, I'm about business. Let's make this fight happen.
Yeah. My concern is, again, it's trying to unpick the politics. We've seen His Excellency as pretty much, read between the lines, he's pretty much throwing his weight behind the zone. Yeah. Now, if Shakur was to sign with Eddie, which seems like the best fit in terms of relationship, he then indirectly has the backing of Riyadh Season and the enormous money that comes with. In theory, you'd think that makes the fights easier, but Tank's already sort of snubbed His Excellency, and like I said, these Saudi princes don't take kindly to, you know, if he wants to squeeze your knee or your hand, and you pull your hand away, they don't take kindly to being snubbed in that way. So I got a feeling that the Saudis, I don't think they'll go back to Tank anytime soon with any big offers. And certainly PBC don't look, they're probably the least vocal about working with PBC. With Riyadh Season. Now that's not to say Al Heyman is opposed to them. We simply don't know because he is such a private man. Maybe in private he spoke to Turkey Al Sheikh and he's like, yeah, we're all cool, but you know, I'm Mr. Private. I'm never going to say anything publicly and blah blah. We don't know, but Rico. Good evening, Rico. Rico heard His Excellency's name mentioned, and he had to get in on the action to make sure no one is besmirching his name. So welcome, Rico. I'd snatch my hand away. It's the PBC angle and Tank. Their relationship with Riyadh Season and Turkey Al Sheikh. It's a mystery. We don't know where it's at, but I suspect that he didn't take kindly to being snubbed by Tank in that way.
No, not at all. But end of the day, I reckon, look, if Eddie Hearn pitches both of them, I believe they can make it happen. At the end of the day, look, money talks in this sport. So
Mhm.
I believe this fight will happen one day. Hopefully soon. But bit disappointing that you've got Canelo fighting Belanga. Well, they're in talks. Don't really want to see that fight. Bit upset, but hey ho, is what it is.
Oh, we've come on to my favourite, the leader of the Duck March himself. So somewhere out there, our colleague Abbas is just felt a shudder go down his spine.
Mm.
I'll be surprised if any moment now he's all in there. But yeah, you know what? As I was saying on Jam's show last night, I don't hate this fight. I'm intrigued by it. I favour this fight more than the Eubank fight. Yeah, it's not first
Really?
choice, not second choice, but
Mm.
it's a Puerto Rican young gobshite who thinks he's some wannabe gangster. So he might get beaten the crap out of, most likely. So that's a positive outcome of it. Or he's actually every bit the bad man he says he is and pulls it off, in which case, as president
Mm.
of the Canelo Hate Club, Christmas will come early for me. So
Look, no disrespect to Belanga, but I think McGee will probably beat Belanga. So I can't see what he possesses. I think Canelo's gonna outbox him, beat him pretty much every round, if not maybe even knock him out. So yeah, I'm upset, man. I really wanted to see the Eubank one, just something exciting, something entertaining. I mean, don't get me wrong, the outcome would have still been the same Canelo win, but just something different.
yeah, I guess. I mean, especially if it was in the UK,
Yeah,
I
it'll
would
be
have
huge.
been all in because it's a great night out for all of us. But it was never at this late notice. It was never going to be in the UK
Mm.
because I mean Canelo's too big and his financial demands will be too big to have it in, say, a small arena.
Okay.
So it'd have to be in
Mm.
a stadium. But by then it's going to clash with the Riyadh season and AJ and Dubois. There'll be. I think Eddie Earn said you can't have two stadium events in 1 month in the same
Yeah.
city. So I
Nah.
don't know if that's a legal thing, if the Met Police and the Mayor of London don't allow it because of logistics, or if he meant from a business point of view that the paying customers can't afford two expensive nights out. I don't know. But yeah, Rico's is late to the party. We already mentioned that George Glinsky reported that the number weren't enough for him, which makes me wonder what
Mm.
sort of numbers do all of these guys want exactly.
I I think, well, Eubank, it's been what, a year? He's been inactive, so he needs the warm up fight. But a bit disappointed as well that what, what does he want? 10 million. I mean, I know, to be fair, look, Eubank's name here in the UK carries weight. Everybody knows, Eubank Senior and you got Eubank Junior. But to outprice himself fighting Canelo, the face of boxing, yeah, it is a bit stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's baffling. I mean, these guys get to what 35 years old, the clock's ticking, your time in the game's almost up, and yeah, yeah, it's baffling, utterly baffling. So yeah, you're not down with Canelo Belanga. You're not buying into the old Mexico v Puerto
I, I,
Rico beef.
yeah, not really. I'm not, if I'm honest. Don't get me wrong, I watch it, but we. I wanted better Vidas, man. That's all I wanted. But hey, it is what it is. But Belanga, look, fair play. If he wins, I salute him. If he loses, I still salute him. But he's gonna lose. So it is what it is.
I'll tell you
Canelo
what.
needs a challenge. And sorry to cut it there. Crawford is not interested in Boots Ennis. He said
Mm,
after this fight, he wants Canelo.
that's what I want. That's what I want.
Could Crawford be the third guy to upset Canelo?
Oh, listen. You know, why even ask me? You know, you know what Ra Holcomb's views on that is. I think we'll get a better idea after 3rd of August because Madrimov is a huge and powerful super welterweight.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
Um,
he is.
and you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if come fight night, he's a similar size to Canelo. Remember, he's a bit younger, so he's probably able to still rehydrate a lot more. So he might not be far off the size of Canelo come fight night. So it'll be interesting to see how he copes with Madrimov. Of course, stylistically they're very different, but in terms of dealing with the strength and the power and the durability of a considerably bigger man, that might tell us more. But I've ever since I heard Bud start talking about it, I thought he can do this because he can replicate what Mayweather did all them years ago. And you know, I always go in on Canelo regardless, but I think the way Canelo's talking, I don't think he wants it because he knows there's the possibility that Crawford will give him the Mayweather PTSD. Yeah. Once again, I'm going to get this guy who's much smaller than me just wrong-footing me all night and hitting me with counters, making me look foolish. And this time he won't have the excuse of saying, "But I'm only 23," to quote Jared Anderson.
If Crawford beats Canelo and takes his belts, would you guys say Crawford is the next new face of boxing?
Yes.
Woo!
Not only that, I would say he's in amongst the top 5 pound for pound greatest fighters of all time. That's how I would class him.
Wow.
If he can do that, because that would be listen, don't get it twisted. We know how much hate I keep giving Canelo, but I don't deny that he's pound for pound one of the best in the world at the moment, and he's an all-time great. And he's still the undisputed champion at super middleweight. So I think Canelo has really painted himself into a bit of a corner because at this point in his career, it looks to me like he just wants easy night's work. Yeah. But he doesn't want to give up the belts. Now, our boy Ray's going to give up the belts. He don't want to give up the belts because the belts, they give you that extra kudos for the higher sort of earning. He wants the top dollar whilst only, without doing the overtime. It's like me. I don't do overtime. 4 o'clock. Sorry, boss. My shift's over. Yeah. I ain't getting paid top dollar. He wants to earn top dollar without putting in top dollar work. So he doesn't want Benavidez. He doesn't want Morrell. They're too big. They're too powerful. Doesn't want to go back to light heavyweight. They're too big, too powerful. But then I don't want to get Crawford. He's too small and maybe too skillful. So he's painted himself into that corner where, well, who is there left? And that's why he's looking at these off-key guys like Eubank because, there's a guy who's got a name. He's something different. But yeah, I think that's where Canelo is at this stage of his career. And just for good measure, I'm going to say Inoue's getting to that point as well. Hence his duff next fight.
Right, all I'm saying, may the fight happen. Crawford fights Canelo. If Crawford beats Canelo, oh my goodness. I want to hear Abbas's excuse. But yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But you got the big fight this weekend. Del Boy and Joe Joyce.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that one. 2 big heavyweights. Somebody's getting knocked out. Derek said they ain't getting past 5 rounds. Something tells me it might be him who will be sleeping after 5 rounds. But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, you know what? I think too much is made of Joe's knockout defeat. Like what? He's not has there never been a heavyweight who's got knocked out? Lennox Lewis got knocked out twice. And And you know what? Just because Zhang can knock him out, don't mean everyone can. Because it's not just the power. You know, people are saying, "Oh, well, his chin's probably not as good." That's true, but it's also the way Zhang can set punches up and see the right punches. He's got a great ring IQ, at least for the first 6 rounds. We know that. And it, for me, you know, it weren't the worst knockout I've ever seen. You know, he did try and beat the count. It's not like he was flatlined for 2 minutes and he had to get stretchered out or whatever. So I'm not convinced Joyce is completely gone, and he's a much bigger heavyweight. The dynamics are totally different with Chisora. Chisora's very shot worn now. So yeah, I would fancy Joe to get that stoppage. I don't think it'll be early. I think it'll probably be mid to late.
Yeah, mid to late.
As usual. It's a banger of a card, and of course, iBoxingHub are going to be repped there. I believe our beloved Aisha is going, maybe Rico as well. Guys, if you can confirm. So yeah, look out for that content. That is going to be a hell of a card that Frank Warren's putting on. Got to also mention there's a small hall show in Tolworth that Dean White's putting on. Brilliant show. And Tony Yoka is trying to rebuild his career on those small hall shows. Yeah, and how the mighty have fallen. So that class of 2016 heavyweights, interesting how all of them, they were rated so highly and all have failed spectacularly in the pros so far. So Yoka gold down at small hall level, Joyce at silver, career on the line on Saturday, and of Hergovich that won bronze. He's just disappeared since that defeat. He said he's going to retire if he loses to Triple D. Maybe he has. Like I said, he's disappeared. So,
do you know what, Herkovich? The fight that I would like to see him in is what's his name? Babbage. Savage Babbage beats Herkovich. Now that's a fight I would like to see.
It'd be a good fun fight for Croatia. Have it in Dubrovnik. Some of us can get a little holiday to the Adriatic while we're at it. So
indeed,
that's something good out of it. Yeah, I mean, if Yoka and Joyce can come back, maybe that's a fight that they should both look at. Rerun the 2016 Olympic final. So,
Lucia said, "Oh hell no!"
You don't like that? Well. I think maybe Lucy's talking about Babbage is Jake Paul level. Good shout. Hey, maybe that's the fight to make. Then we'll see where both.
Because apparently, Mike Tyson, he still ain't fit yet, so I don't know if Jake Paul's gonna fight Mike next. So that would be interesting. Jake Paul to fight a legitimate fighter, Savage Babbage. Interesting.
Mike's been twice. Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you again, you know, for fitting in. Well, so fitting in, I mean, coming through. Trey, get well soon. Guys, remember, we're back here. No, the R&R show is tomorrow, I believe, sir.
Tomorrow night, me and Rico confirm it's probably going to be a late one because I am going to the press conference for Joyce Chisora. So I don't know what time I'll be back yet. So, yeah, but look out for that tomorrow night. We'll try not to be too late.
No worries.
And and of course, look out for all the content from Fight Night from both Punchout Boxing and iBoxingHub. We're all going to be repped there Fight Night. I won't be there Fight Night. My colleague Dave's going because he's friends with Indabasi, so he wants to support his boy. But yeah, our channels will be providing you with some coverage from those nights.
Guys, have a lovely, productive week. We're back here again on Sunday. Peace and love.
Night all.